Russian President Vladimir Putin welcomed South African Vice President Paul Mashatile for high-level talks in St. Petersburg on Thursday during the sidelines of the SBF.
President, nice to meet you. Good to see you. Very good to see you. Very good to see you.
Russia and South Africa are taking their partnership to a new level, signaling deeper economic, political, and strategic ties. Leaders Putin and Ramaphosa recently pledged to expand cooperation, sparking global attention. What does this mean for trade, energy, and geopolitics? Let's break down the key developments. Background of Russia-South Africa relations. Diplomatic relations between Russia and South Africa began officially on February 28, 1992, after the end of apartheid, marking a historic recognition of the Russian Federation. Over the decades, bilateral relationships have grown through trade, defense, cultural exchanges, and political dialogue. South Africa's BRICS membership strengthened ties, providing a platform for global cooperation and strategic alignment. The partnership has faced challenges, including differing positions on international issues and balancing national interests. Yet both nations remain committed to expanding mutual engagement. Areas such as economic cooperation, energy, security, and multilateral diplomacy reflect a long-term vision. Today, the relationship demonstrates shared priorities, including a multipolar world, global influence, and regional collaboration. Understanding this historical foundation provides context for current agreements, recent talks, and future initiatives, highlighting the evolving Russia-South Africa strategic partnership. Role of BRICS in strengthening the partnership. The BRICS group, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, has become a central framework for Russia-South Africa relations. Since South Africa joined in 2010, it has leveraged BRICS to expand economic cooperation, trade agreements, and political dialogue. The platform provides a collective voice on global governance, advocating for reforms and promoting balanced international relations. Initiatives like the New Development Bank and BRICS Contingent Reserve Arrangement strengthen financial resilience among emerging economies. BRICS also fosters cultural exchanges, education partnerships, and people-to-people connections, reinforcing mutual understanding. Through this framework, strategic coordination on energy, technology, and infrastructure projects is enhanced. The platform allows both nations to maintain diplomatic alignment, navigate geopolitical challenges, and advance shared priorities. BRICS remains a key multilateral mechanism that supports long-term cooperation, demonstrating the strategic value of Russia and South Africa's partnership in global affairs. Key highlights from recent talks between Putin and Ramaphosa. In August 2025, President Vladimir Putin and President Cyril Ramaphosa held a high-level discussion focused on bilateral relations and global challenges. They addressed the Ukraine crisis, emphasizing dialogue, diplomacy, and peaceful resolution. Both leaders pledged to maintain open communication channels and enhance cooperation in trade, energy, and security sectors. President Ramaphosa highlighted South Africa's diplomatic approach, stressing compromise, multilateral engagement, and conflict prevention. Discussions included BRICS coordination, joint economic initiatives, and potential infrastructure and energy projects. This engagement reflects the strategic nature of the partnership and underscores long-term intent to strengthen political trust and mutual support. These talks signal both countries' commitment to regional stability, economic growth, and addressing shared challenges. They also demonstrate how high-level diplomatic dialogues influence international perceptions and policy strategies, reinforcing the evolving Russia-South Africa strategic alliance. Economic cooperation and trade expansion. Economic cooperation between Russia and South Africa has expanded steadily, highlighting mutual benefits and strategic interests. By 2022, South African investments in Russia reached $5.13 billion, spanning technology, beverages, and machinery. Russian investments in South Africa totaled $1.5 billion, focusing on energy, infrastructure, and industrial projects. Bilateral trade includes South African exports like citrus fruits and machinery, while Russian imports include fertilizers and oil products. Both governments aim to diversify trade, strengthen economic resilience, and reduce Western market dependency. Strategic projects support job creation, industrial growth, and technological exchange, enhancing long-term partnerships. Economic collaboration also fosters regional and global market integration, making trade and investment a cornerstone of their strategic alliance. These efforts reflect a shared commitment to mutual prosperity and highlight the economic dimension of the evolving Russia-South Africa relationship. Energy collaboration, including nuclear and renewables. Energy cooperation is a critical pillar in the Russia-South Africa partnership. Rosatom, Russia's state nuclear corporation, is leading efforts to develop South Africa's nuclear energy capacity through VVER reactors, potentially adding 9.6 gigawatts of electricity. This addresses energy shortages, supports industrial growth, and strengthens energy security. Beyond nuclear, both nations explore renewables, including solar and wind projects, diversifying the energy mix and promoting sustainability. Collaborative initiatives focus on infrastructure modernization, technological advancement, and knowledge transfer, enhancing long-term energy strategies. By combining expertise, Russia and South Africa aim to create a reliable, secure, and sustainable energy ecosystem that supports economic development and industrial expansion. These partnerships demonstrate a shared commitment to innovation, regional energy leadership, and environmentally responsible growth, reinforcing the strategic importance of energy collaboration in bilateral relationships. Defense and security dialogue. Russia and South Africa have been enhancing their defense and security cooperation, focusing on joint military exercises, arms trade, and technology transfer. In 2023, the two nations conducted joint naval drills in the Indian Ocean, signaling a commitment to strengthening their military ties. Discussions have also centered on joint arms production, with Russia expressing interest in collaborating with South Africa's military-industrial complex, which is among the most developed in Africa. These engagements aim to bolster combat readiness and strategic alignment between the two countries. Furthermore, Russia's broader strategy in Africa includes establishing military partnerships with other nations such as Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger to expand its influence in the region. This growing defense collaboration underscores a shared interest in regional security and countering external pressures. Diplomatic coordination on global issues. Russia and South Africa maintain a strong diplomatic partnership, often coordinating their positions on various global issues. Both countries are members of BRICS, a bloc that serves as a platform for promoting a multipolar world order and advocating reforms in international institutions. Their diplomatic efforts emphasize sovereignty, non-interference, and anti-imperialism, reflecting shared values rooted in historical experiences. This alignment is evident in their joint statements and collaborative initiatives within multilateral forums. Additionally, both nations have expressed concerns over the dominance of Western powers in global affairs and have sought to strengthen ties with other countries in the global South. Their diplomatic coordination aims to promote a more equitable international system and challenge existing power structures. South Africa's stance on the Ukraine conflict. South Africa has adopted a neutral and non-aligned position regarding the Ukraine conflict, advocating for peaceful resolution and dialogue. The government has consistently called for multilateral diplomacy and emphasized the importance of adhering to the United Nations Charter. While some domestic groups have criticized this stance, arguing for a more definitive condemnation of Russia's actions, the South African leadership maintains that neutrality allows for a more effective role in facilitating peace efforts. This approach aligns with South Africa's broader foreign policy principles of non-interference and sovereignty, reflecting its historical experiences and commitment to promoting a just and peaceful international order. The nation's position has been a subject of debate, balancing diplomatic relations with Russia and Western countries. Western reactions and pressure on South Africa. Western countries, particularly the United States and members of the European Union, have expressed concerns over South Africa's deepening ties with Russia. These nations have raised issues regarding potential military cooperation and the implications for regional security. Some have suggested that South Africa's engagement with Russia could affect its relationships with Western partners, especially in areas of trade and investment. In response, South Africa has reiterated its commitment to an independent foreign policy, emphasizing its role as a member of the Global South and its dedication to multilateralism. The government has also highlighted the importance of maintaining balanced relationships with all nations, advocating for dialogue and cooperation over confrontation. This dynamic reflects the complexities of navigating international relations amid shifting geopolitical alliances. Russia's strategic interests in Africa. Russia's engagement in Africa is driven by a combination of strategic, economic, and political interests. The Kremlin seeks to expand its influence through military partnerships, arms sales, and support for authoritarian regimes. This approach includes establishing military outposts and securing defense agreements, particularly in regions like the Sahel and Horn of Africa. Economically, Russia aims to access natural resources, such as minerals and energy reserves, and to promote its nuclear technology through partnerships with countries like South Africa. Politically, Russia positions itself as a counterbalance to Western dominance, advocating for a multipolar world order and supporting nations that challenge Western policies. This multifaceted strategy allows Russia to enhance its global standing and influence in a region rich in resources and geopolitical significance. South Africa's strategic interests in Russia. South Africa's engagement with Russia is guided by a combination of economic, political, and strategic priorities. The nation seeks to strengthen trade relations, particularly in energy, mining, and infrastructure development, leveraging Russia's technological expertise and investment capacity. Defense collaboration provides opportunities to modernize South Africa's military capabilities and participate in joint exercises. Politically, maintaining strong ties with Russia allows South Africa to assert an independent foreign policy and play a mediating role in global conflicts, including the Ukraine crisis. Membership in BRICS further reinforces these interests by offering platforms for multilateral dialogue, economic coordination, and global South solidarity. By balancing relations between Russia and Western powers, South Africa aims to secure economic growth, expand geopolitical influence, and strengthen its position in Africa as a key diplomatic and economic actor. These strategies demonstrate South Africa's emphasis on pragmatism and strategic diversification. Implications for BRICS expansion and Global South unity. Russia-South Africa cooperation has significant implications for BRICS expansion and the broader Global South. As both nations advocate for a multipolar world, their alignment strengthens the bloc's ability to influence international governance, trade rules, and development financing. Discussions regarding the inclusion of new BRICS members highlight their interest in consolidating emerging economies under shared goals, including economic diversification and reduced reliance on Western institutions. The partnership also demonstrates leadership within the Global South, signaling unity on issues like sovereignty, debt relief, and climate adaptation financing. Joint diplomatic efforts encourage collaboration among developing nations, enhancing collective bargaining power in global forums. These moves increase BRICS' strategic relevance, strengthen ties between member states, and provide a cohesive platform for promoting economic growth, political coordination, and regional stability across Africa, Asia, and Latin America. Impact on South Africa's domestic politics and public opinion. The deepening Russia-South Africa partnership has a notable impact on domestic politics and public perception. Within political circles, debates focus on foreign policy alignment, economic opportunities, and strategic independence. Some parties advocate for stronger ties with Russia to secure investments, energy collaboration, and BRICS support, while critics warn of potential Western backlash and reputational risks. Public opinion is divided, reflecting a tension between economic pragmatism and ethical considerations regarding Russia's international actions. Media coverage and civil society discourse highlight concerns over military cooperation, arms deals, and global perception, shaping the narrative for upcoming elections. Policymakers aim to balance national interests with international pressures, ensuring that economic growth, energy security, and geopolitical influence are maintained without alienating traditional partners. These dynamic underscores the complex intersection of foreign policy and domestic governance in South Africa. What to expect from the strategic partnership? The future of the Russia-South Africa partnership will likely focus on expanding economic, political, and security cooperation. Areas such as energy infrastructure, nuclear development, trade diversification, and BRICS coordination are expected to be prioritized. Both nations are likely to pursue multilateral diplomacy, aiming to strengthen global South alliances and enhance collective bargaining power. Potential joint projects in mining, technology, and defense will further cement strategic alignment. However, the partnership will need to navigate geopolitical tensions, Western scrutiny, and domestic debates on foreign policy. Maintaining balanced relationships with other international actors while maximizing benefits from collaboration will remain essential. Overall, the alliance is projected to grow as a long-term strategic engagement, emphasizing mutual interests, regional influence, and economic resilience, shaping both countries' roles in the global geopolitical and economic landscape over the coming years. The Russia-South Africa partnership is entering a new chapter with promises of closer cooperation and shared strategic goals. As these developments unfold, global attention will remain focused. Stay tuned to see how this alliance could reshape trade, energy, and geopolitics in the years ahead. Thanks for watching.